welcome to our channel. We are doing a special series called Vocal Coach Reactions, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy this. This is the first video in this series, and today we're talking all about Adele. I know a lot of you guys like Adele. We're going to be breaking down her voice. We've got a video of her singing from 2011 and then a brand new video, her brand new music video that just came out. David Moyer is joining us, and he's going to break this down for us and tell us a little bit about what he thinks of Adele. Before we get into that, though, I want to let you know, David and I have a special course where we talk all about something called pure bel canto.
Indeed.
We would love for you to check it out. We believe this is the best way to sing. It will preserve your voice and allow you to sing and speak, so you don't have to be a singer, but allow your voice to continue for years and years to come, and we want you to have that healthy voice that we keep talking about. So please check out our course at purebelcanto.com. All right, general thoughts, David. You know Adele, maybe not personally, but you know her music.
No, but I've been to her team that corrected her voice through surgery up in Los Angeles.
So what do you think of her voice in general?
Well, I love her visual emotion. Mm-hmm. I love her performance in general. She has a great heart. She tells a story well with her voice.
Yeah.
But there are some issues with the voice, and she's had to have surgeries a number of times to correct those problems. It's because she uses so much throat compression internally. That's the truth, and we're going to explore that today in her songs.
Yeah, and it's tough because that throat compression that you're talking about is what everybody loves.
That's her signature.
It is.
Well, that's what she chose to sing with in the beginning. They fell in love with it, and now she's kind of stuck. What does she do if she were to really try to correct and sing with a healthy voice?
Yeah, that would be really interesting.
Yes, it would.
Hopefully she hasn't damaged her voice too much to be able to do that. Well, guys, we're going to break down a couple different videos of hers. The first one is called Someone Like You. I'm sure you're familiar with this song. We're going to play two different clips from it, small clips. And again, we're critiquing this, so no copyright, no nothing like that. We just want to get to the heart of how she's singing. So I'm going to play the clip for you guys. David's going to take a look at it, and then we'll discuss it. You ready?
Okay, sounds good to me.
Okay.
Oh, friend, why you so shy? It ain't like you to hold back or hide from the light.
Okay, David, a little bit of a sample there. Now, for the untrained ear, we may think that, it sounds really pretty, right?
Yes.
Sounds soft to us.
Yes.
What did you hear, though?
Well, I hear that she's emotional. She's conveying the story well. And as I said, she's a good visual performer. Excellent performer. I mean, why would she not have 98,000 people coming to a concert?
Right.
So she's very successful. But the problem with the voice is it's not being produced on the breath. And so there's an amount of internal compression. And if you watch her, you'll see that when she gets more emotional, she kind of bears down and does that with her jaw. You see the jaw jut a little bit. You'll see the head kind of go like this. And what's happening is she's singing so hard with the bands. What I hear is scratch. Okay. I hear a gravelly sound coming through the voice, and instead of it being on the breath, it sounds like this. And you hear in my voice that. Mine is damaged. I've had 3 surgeries to correct it because I chose to sing that way, even though I knew how to sing right. Okay. Now, that could be corrected, but she's already had 3 surgeries. At that point, she'd had, I think, 1.
So that video was from 2011. You think she already had her first surgery at that point?
She did.
Okay.
As far as I understand from the articles I've been reading, she had her first surgery. And if we listen to the future of it, her earlier recording of that, she sang higher notes. Oh. But she never does go to those high notes anymore. Quite honestly, folks, I believe that's because they aren't there. My middle range is gone, but high voice is still quite present. And hers should be too if she had sung with pure bel canto.
Okay, so let's listen to that part that I think you're talking about. It's that chorus part where she usually belts it out.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you.
Now, this is a live performance, but you guys are going to hear, if you guys are familiar with this song, you're going to hear that she actually goes down instead of up.
That's right.
All right, so let's take a listen.
Never mind, I'll find someone like you. worse instead.
So exactly what we just said, right? Normally she goes up at the very end. She didn't even do falsetto. She didn't do...
No, she did no
She just went
upper
down.
range. She just went down. And I believe that's because it's not there anymore.
Okay.
It's just not there. Whitney Houston, before she passed away, she had lost her upper range as well. It was not only due to the way she sang, it was due to her cocaine addiction, which drives the bands.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
we'll talk about things that dry the bands out that you don't use in later
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah. I mean, obviously, there's various things you can do to harm your vocal cords, right? So we're just talking about the singing, you
Yes.
know, how to
Well,
sing right now.
She was
but,
singing with heavy compression.
Yeah. But
Like
again,
that.
that's what people
Yeah.
love about her voice.
Well, that's been going on for almost 200 years. Since 1834 to 1836, they just pulled back on the bands. And so what happened was, in short, in 1984, I got to meet the man that I'd always wanted to meet all my life, and I'd styled my voice after him. His name's Andy Williams. And when my manager asked Andy how his latest album was going, he was told they shelved it because they don't want that sound.
Yeah.
They want that sound. And so the A&R people, the managers, they didn't want that very velvety sound like Andy Williams or Jack Jones or Steve Lawrence. They threw them out. They literally threw them under the bus and started to accept the forced sound of singers as being the dominant sound.
Yeah.
There you are.
All right, well, let's listen to a second video from Adele. This is her brand new video. It just came out. It's all the rage on YouTube, so you guys may have already seen it before, but now let's break this down with our vocal coach.
And at this point, she's had 3 surgeries.
Right.
At least 3, possibly 4.
But I can't bring myself to swim when I am drowning in this silence, baby. Let me in.
That last part she did, she actually sang
On the breath.
towards bel canto. Yeah,
Okay.
on the breath.
Okay.
But the rest of it was all the old way. And it sounds cleaner because she's been cleaned up. She had vocal surgery to take whatever was wrong on her bands off, and then it healed. But the same problem exists. She's still using the same production, very similar. She might have gotten some coaching on the breath, but the damage, I think, has already been done. Adele will continue to sing this way for a season if she does not sing more on the breath, which will change her vocal style and which will probably lose a good portion of her audience. But as I tell my students at a training that want to go professional, would it be okay to only make $1.5 million a year and maybe have 2,000 or 3,000 people at your concerts rather than 98,000 and have a voice that only lasts, like now I'm 60 and I want to sing to my grandchild and I'm going lullaby and good night. I have no voice at all anymore because I chose to sing with compression and I literally tore my voice to pieces.
Oh. Well, let's listen to the final clip.
You can't deny how hard I've tried. I changed who I was to put you both first, but now I give up. Don't
When she goes higher like that,
You can tell she's been coached.
Okay.
And there is some shifting, as we've talked
Right.
about, into the other gear. However, you also notice if you listen, it actually has a cleaner sound than the lower sound because the lower sound is where she sang or the lower gears. It's sort of like driving a car and saying, I want to go 70, but I forgot to put it in 5th gear. I'm still in 3rd.
Yeah.
Well, how long is the engine going to last? There will be a point at which it blows up.
right. And same thing with our voices, right? It can
but
only
the only
take us for
difference
so
is
long.
you can buy a new engine.
Good point, right?
And you can't buy a new voice.
At least not yet.
And even after the surgery's been done,
Yeah.
it heals, but it heals just like you get a cut on your finger
Okay.
and you have a scar. The scar does not vibrate with the same clarity that the original God-given bands were when God made them.
Yeah, and you can hear it in the voice. Like you
can
said,
hear
you could tell that she had multiple surgeries at this point.
And she's not correcting, she's snapping her voice, and we call it the glottal stroke. As she sings, she's going like she's letting go whack, whack, whack. And my teacher used to say, well, why don't, if you're going to do that, just lay your hand, make a fist, and then take a 5-pound sledgehammer, but keep your fist tight. Let's see if that hurts that fist. No, it won't. Just keep it tight, because that's what you're doing to your voice. Now know that, you singers, Know that, you speakers. Know it. You're doing that to your voice. And you will have a short career. And your voice will change permanently, as mine did.
I don't understand why vocal coaches aren't giving out this information. Do they just not know?
I think that's part of it. I think that bel canto has been twisted into a kind of production that simply is wrong. Just like the article you sent me the other day. I think you sent it to me or somebody did. I can't remember who sent it, but it says, why do people like Adele keep losing their voice? Two of the most famous Italian vocal coaches in the world have been fighting this for over 10 years. And do you know what? Most vocal coaches think that expanded... I'll give you a quick example. Look up Thomas Hampson, 2019 Masterclass. Watch the distension of the jaw, and as he supports the lady he's teaching, she's going, ooh, and he goes, that's beautiful, expand more.
We saw that in the video with Adele. When she gets more emotional, her jaw opens, right? She gets that kind of cringy because we're going after the emotion. And honestly, not that this is the best example, but when you watch those singing competitions,
Yes.
you know, they are looking for emotion. So we are trained to show emotion. We want to feel you when you sing. And so we kind of have a tendency to distort our face and do these weird things, but that doesn't mean that we're producing the correct sound.
No, and the truth is you could do the visual emotion. You have to watch out for the open jaw.
The jaw.
The open jaw, because, well, we've talked about it before. It's very slightly open. But if you look to that ventriloquist who won America's Got Talent, the Afro-American one who's 20 years old, or the blonde-haired girl that won, can't remember their names right now. But if you look at it, how can they sing so well and their mouth isn't even moving?
I know.
Because it's done primarily, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, internally. And it's done on the breath. The throat should be an open, free bore. That's why I still have, ooh, and it's clear, because I didn't destroy it. I sang it on the breath.
So this is really showmanship.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with visual showmanship, but you better be darn careful when you start to use emotion, of intensity, and you start compressing.
Yeah.
Sometimes in a character part, you have to do that.
Right.
But we always teach, as coaches like us that teach pure bel canto, be careful.
Yeah.
You do that too much, you'll damage your instrument.
Or in Adele's case, you do it all the time. I mean, that's your signature.
Yeah. And
You're not
then
going to last long.
You'll have no voice.
Do you think she'll have more surgeries, or you think she'll just be done the next time?
No, I don't know. The doctor that I read in the article who's done all her surgeries, who's on the team that I went to in L.A., that's my understanding, Dr. Gupta's who I went to, told me mine could not be repaired yet. They didn't have the proper surgery or advancement of the fluid that goes under the band. I think she might be able to have it repaired again. Well, Lionel Richie had 20 surgeries, and he kept singing the way that he sang, and now we don't hear from him anymore.
He's a vocal coach on
and he's
American
a vocal
Idol.
coach. And he goes, like John Legend, and John Legend goes, oh, your tone is so beautiful. And I want to go, John, please call me. Let's talk about how to produce tone.
I mean, you guys, we're having some fun with this, but
Yes.
it is a sad thing, right? Because you don't want your favorite singers to lose their voice. And of course, if you're a singer or a presenter or a podcaster, if you're using your voice on a regular basis, I fall into that category. We do need to think about what we're doing with our voice so we don't harm ourselves. And that's what Pure Bel Canto is all
And
about.
that's what we want to bring to you, vocal
Yeah.
health. So you can sing to your little grandchildren and your children when you're 70 or 80 years old. My teacher sung 99 years old. He sang for me. It sounded like he was 35.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
On the breath. Pure bel canto.
Yeah. And on that note, check out our website, purebelcanto.com. It has our course. It has more videos like this if you guys want to watch some more of that off of YouTube.
Indeed.
And so we'll
Here's
see
to
you
your
guys.
vocal health.
Yes. Cheers. And we'll see you guys on the next video.